Joe, it's so funny. We've been doing a series on the Solopreneur Success Cycle, and I don't even know what number we're on at this point because there was so much in the planning phase. But guess what? We have graduated from the planning phase. Today is officially the day that we are moving on to the doing phase of the
Right.
Solopreneur Success Cycle, which it feels like a long time coming, but everything you do in the planning phase is necessary for the actual doing phase. And Joe, I mean, there's so much we can discuss even in the doing phase, but it's kind of just putting all the pieces together from your planning and actually implementing them.
Well, this is really at this point, it's about, you know, running your business, right? You put it all together, you're running it. Maybe you started it here, your business has been running for 3 years, but there's still something you can get out of this phase because this is really all about as you run your business. One of the things we've all seen is that you notice something that's not the way it should be. And I don't know about you, I don't know about the listeners, but for me, I go, I remember that. And yeah, no, I don't remember that. I don't, there's so many things that happen. So one of the things that I have come to believe is that when something isn't quite the way you'd like it to be, sometimes you go, yeah, let's just fix it now. It's going to take me half an hour or 10 minutes, or I got a day to devote to it. Great. But sometimes it's like, this is a big deal. I don't know how I'm going to do it exactly. You want to write that down. You want to note it. You want to have a place where you put these things, these problems, and brainstorm solutions at the time, because sometimes you get insights that you won't be able to recall in months later when you're actually going to tackle this.
Even if you think you will, because
you will think you will. Absolutely. Yeah. You will think it. You will be wrong. I shouldn't say that. Some people have amazing memories and they can just do this. But for most of us, write it down. I have actually a document worksheet I've put together for tracking this kind of stuff that it's going to be linked in the book in Solopreneur Business for Dummies. So anyway, so the idea there is just keeping track will make a big difference, right? And so the idea is, to think through this idea of what is the issue, right? Write down the issue because you noticed it, right? Something went wrong. What is the impact of that issue, right? What's it doing that's causing things to be bad? That helps you kind of gauge the severity. How, should I carve time now? Can I wait until the next time I decide to make some changes to the business? A best guess at what's causing it, because you might have insights now that you're not going to have in 3 months. And like I said, the possible solutions, you really want to write those down so that, because you have some insights in the moment that might be hard to get back later. How confident are you of these solution ideas? Is this like just a wing and a prayer, or I know this is what I need to do? How much work do you think it's going to be? And what's the plan? What's the next step? Am I going to do it now? Am I going to put it off until I do my change phase, my improve phase of the Solopreneur Success Cycle? Could be months away, and just make a decision around that. So that's really the way that you want to address this, in my opinion, and this is the way we address it in the book.
Well, and I think some people might think, oh, that sounds tedious to write down all of those things. But what I would say is, one, you'll thank yourself in the long run, even though in that moment it'll seem like a to-do you just need to check off. But also it'll allow you to take a step back and think through it, because I think when you see something going wrong, your knee-jerk reaction is to fix it immediately. But that might take you away from other more pressing things. Like we talked about the Eisenhower matrix
Right.
throughout the book. We also talk about it in our show a lot of just like what's important. Joe, remind me of the 4 things. What's important?
So it's important, not important, and then urgent and not urgent. And you spend most of your time in the important, urgent things, right? But we always talk about, and this is really where a lot of these changes, some of these changes are important and urgent, and you just need to do them now or something bad will happen. But some of them are important, but not urgent. It's not, the world's not going to end, but these are where you really improve your business, right? So this is where you're saying, here's something I can do that's going to make my business better. That isn't because it's broken. It's because it's an improvement or something that's not ideal right now. And, maybe it's just some manual thing you're doing over and over. You're like, every day I spend 45 minutes doing this manual thing, and boy, I would love to buy that time back. Well, you don't have to buy that time back right now. Everything's working. But this is where you sit down and you create this document and outline the issues and why you want to fix this or make a change. And then you can take that time later to carve out to make that particular change, or at least explore making that change, and maybe buy back that 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what I just love about documenting all of this is that we can go a mile a minute, like I talk. um, we can go a mile a minute, and it allows you to slow down if you document it. If nothing else, just to pause and not just have any knee-jerk reactions. I think this process is really important. And like Jess said, we dive into it more in the book.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I'll tell you, I spent a good chunk of my adult life waking up in the middle of the night, remembering something that I forgot because I tried to carry it all in my head. And this was, thing, especially with to-dos and tasks and things like that, that I would have forgotten to do something or wanted to make sure I didn't forget to do something. And I would write those things down. And one of the things that I ended up doing was implementing the getting things done process that we've talked about before, David Allen's process. But also I built out, as part of Lifestar, an app that's also being released with the book that lets you get all that stuff out of your brain and into a system. And I sleep so much better now. I don't wake up anymore. And the same thing with this, if you get this stuff written down, documented, and you don't then wake up going, oh, I got to remember to do that or whatever. It's just, if you've got this document, you've got this book, I don't know, 3-ring notebook or, a moleskin notebook or whatever, where you're writing this stuff down, then you're not worried about it. You know it's there, it's safe, and it's just out of your brain and makes for a better life.
Absolutely. Well, again, this is learning from your business. So, Joe, I mean, we have so much more to dive into for this current phase, for the next phase of the Solopreneur Success Cycle. So be sure to tune into that, listeners, next time. And thank you so much for tuning in today. As always, leave that 5-star review, share this episode with a friend, subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, including YouTube, and we'll see you next time on The Aspiring Solopreneur.